Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Working hard does not make you rich. We have been told a lot that working hard makes you rich, which it is a false or overgeneralized statement. Working hard does not make you rich. If it did, then that would mean that people picking fruits in the fields would be the richest people in the world. So you're going to tell me that actors and actresses and musicians are the hardest working people in the country? I would think not. There are musicians and striving actors that are homeless in Los Angeles. So then what makes you rich? That is the biggest question. That is the biggest question. What makes you rich? By chance, you become rich for reals. Have you ever played the game of Monopoly? Every single person starts off with the same amount of money and they have the exact same strategy: buy property, rent it out, and become rich. And usually, if you buy the most expensive property and rent it out, you end up monopolizing things and you gain control. Now, you can play Monopoly 100 times with the same four people, and the results are always going to be different and random. Everyone has the same exact strategy. No one worked harder than the other. It's all a matter of chance. Now, there are some people that became rich working hard, and there are some people that became rich not working hard at all. So you really do not know what is going to make a person rich. One thing that you should focus on is building yourself up. I I started these vlogs around 2 or 3 years ago when I quit my job because I noticed one thing makes a person excel higher than anything else. And that one thing was communication. Communicating very effectively and very efficiently and being very interesting, charming, whatever you want to call it. Speaking is probably the most valuable skill that you can acquire. There are people that build huge careers speaking and making money. And if you learn how to speak better than most people and be compelling and to get an audience, then you will probably succeed. Um, but there are also factors that will keep a person down. Number one, systemic racism. If there are forces working against you, you're going to have a hard time creating an audience, even if you do all the work. Systemically, we have standards: beauty standards and news standards, video standards, and if you do not assimilate correctly, if you do not assimilate and go with the flow of those standards, then you're going to have a hard time being successful in certain platforms. Um, right now, there's not that much brown representation on YouTube or on social media in general, or in music, or in acting. Oddly enough, there's more black influence and Asian influence than there is Mexican influence in American culture. Now, why is that? Well, because I have no idea. Systemic racism or something like that. Something that I've been trying to understand. Why is there not so much? Why isn't there Mexican American um, music and uh, actors and actresses? Why are most actors white um, in movies? Why are most shows white, dominated by whites? Maybe because um, they decided, or they worked for hundreds of years making it, trying to make it white, and now it's very white, and they control the demographic. You would figure that about 40%, probably even more, probably like 60 to 70% of the United States is brown, as opposed to white. Now, this is colorism, but you cannot you cannot count it out when it comes to success. If you notice, most of the YouTubers that are famous are blonde and blue eyes, ironically. Now, when I first seen YouTube, it had no AI technology to control who becomes famous or not. Now we do. Oddly enough, the CEO is blonde and blue eyed. And you see a lot of CEOs in lots of countries that are blonde and blue eyes. Now, why is that? Are they better than other people? How do they get to these positions? And also, when YouTube first started, white people were not the dominant creators that were going to the top. One guy was Indian, one guy was Asian. There was some Latinos, and there were some white people here and there. So YouTube was actually very multicultural. Now it's more segregated. Now you got your white content creators, and you have your separately your black content creators, and then you have hidden in algorithms Mexican content, or Latino content. You got your Puerto Rican content. Everything is segregated with AI technology. So, what I was trying to say in the beginning is that hard work does not necessarily pay off when there are obstacles and there are forces working against you, depending on what you look like. Um, those things we really cannot control. And it's just the nature of the beast. So you have to learn how to work around those things, and keep trying, I guess. But basically, your success is controlled at some point, and there are forces that work against you. That's why hard work does not necessarily pay off.